Hey guys, this is NHSDelo6. Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Fire Emblem Sword of Seals. Hope you all had a wonderful Halloween weekend, Halloween week, whatever you want to call it. I've heard it put a ton of ways. I guess Halloween no longer is the 31st, but rather the 28th, 9th, 30th, and 31st to some strange sick way. Because I've been referring to Halloween as the actual day, the 31st, and I had told my friends, like, yeah, this weekend I'm going to go home and carve some pumpkins with my family and my girlfriend. And they're like, oh, why would you carve pumpkins? Halloween's already over. And so I'm thinking that Halloween has actually been misconstrued for All Saints Day or All Hallows Eve, which is the 30th. But as I'm recording this, the 30th is today, and Halloween hasn't even technically happened yet, so I'm not really sure where the disconnect came from with people thinking that Halloween doesn't exist on the 31st anymore. To some people it does, and that's fine, but then some people don't think that it does, and I don't really understand the logic behind that. However, I do have a confession to make. I've recorded this before. This isn't the first time that I've done this, and I've been famous within myself for having to re-record, and I really hate doing that for a myriad of reasons. One, playing the same thing over is really dumb and boring, and you would never actually do that in real life unless you lost. But I mean, I am the most amazing player of Fire Emblem in the world, so effectively I don't have to worry about losing. I just have to worry about if my file's corrupt or some other negative piece of poppycock decides to ruin my recording. That wasn't supposed to happen. That actually didn't happen on the last recording. However, I had a technological malfunction which resulted in the audio from my microphone not being captured by Camtasia. And so unfortunately, since it wasn't captured by Camtasia, I didn't have any audio for the video. The visual was fine, it looked great, as it always does, of course. But I didn't have any audio to go with, and I know many of you really enjoyed the Link's Awakening Let's Play, and you should have. I mean, it was great. But there's not really too much you can do with a video that doesn't have any commentary. And the reason why I reference Link's Awakening is because all of that commentary was post-narration, except for, like, the final battle. Everything was. And for those of you who's ever done post-narration, it sucks. Because, first off, you already know exactly what happens, and sometimes you don't know exactly what happens, and that's a problem. You'll go through the video, and you'll be like, oh, well, I remember doing this. And you, like, consistently refer to yourself in the past tense, which feels stupid in and of itself. So you feel dumb. You don't perfectly remember what you did, and so you're in high frequency able to mistake what you've done for other things. And, you know, just rewatching what you did is just boring. So I don't like to do that. I like to do everything fresh. Your reactions are fresher. Your commentary is generally more spot on. You know, so I really don't like doing post-narration. So I decided to not do it. And that's basically why I didn't have a video last week. However, I was smart enough and mindful to actually turn the audio back on and to check that it was working consistently so that I could provide you guys with a video for today. Because I felt, I mean, I'm only doing these once a week. So at the rate that I'm going, if I didn't start putting videos out in higher frequency, this LP would run into the summertime. Which it won't, because probably during my winter break I'll go back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just do things in a more consistent fashion, in a consistent fascist way. I don't actually want this LP to last forever. The game is roughly about as long as the other Fire Emblem, but I took a crap load of hiatuses during that Fire Emblem LP, and that's why it lasted so long. So, I didn't even get to finish it the way that I wanted to, which was balls, so it's whatever. Now, going back to real life, this is just something that really bothers me, and I don't know if any... Oh, that's cool. It's bad I only did 6 damage, that was cool. I don't know if this is something that bothers other people, and not to say that I really give that much of a crap about people's diction, you know, and the way that they use words, because that's what diction is, because you didn't know. There are a lot of things in my life that I would consider a pet peeve, and then there are a lot of things in my life that I would consider a serious issue, and I think that this is something that falls in between the two, And the problem that I find is, through my time spent in college, I'm a sophomore now. Through my time spent in college, I go to a school where, I don't know if it's pretty prestigious. It's not Ivy League or anything like that, but some of you probably can relate. Is that it's a school that's modeled after the East Coast schools, and it's basically prides itself on the fact that we have really high education standards, which is great. I love the fact that my school takes a lot of pride in the students and in the education. That's what a school is supposed to do. However, I find that the people that go there are two types of people. You have people that are excessively academically inclined, and when I don't mean that as in like a nerd or whatever. Basically what I'm referring to are people who are smart and let you know that they're smart in the most obnoxious way possible. And I don't find that those people are very respectful, and I generally want them to die in a fire. However, there are other people who are smart but do a good job of concealing it. And they don't do a good job of concealing it because they do it on purpose. It's just because they are really unaware of how socially stupid they are. And so those people may do well in the classroom, but when it comes time to actually have a mindful and important conversation with them, it's diarrhea of the mouth. So it just doesn't happen. Now the people that I'm referring to, and this is a little bit long-winded, and I'm sorry for drawing this out. However, the people that I'm referring to in this case are females between the age of 16 and 22, and the constituents that I've just listed, many of them are fulfilled by college-age females, which is basically who I'm going to be harping on here. College-age females are, without a doubt, some of the most interesting creatures on Earth, because this is the peak in a female's life where they're going to be spending their most time academically, and they may attain high levels of excellence academically. However, I find sometimes that, and I don't know why this has happened, I would love to do a case study on this. I'm double majoring in cinema and communications, and so I would love to do a communications case study on this. Why has the word like, L-I-K-E in English, why has the word like transcended from being a descriptive word? And it's incredibly versatile. Like can be an adjective, it can be a noun, it can be a preposition, a bunch of things. You look it up in a dictionary, dictionary.com, you're going to get like 15 or 16 different definitions alone for what the word like means. It's incredibly versatile of a word. It's a great word. However, I find that almost to a slap in the face of the figurative face of the word like is the fact that it's been deemed a vocal filler. I'm going to voice act this real quick. I won't lose if I don't win. Oh no. That's probably not how he said it. However, basically the point that I'm trying to make is the word like has transcended from being a word where it's used as a comparative word or other natures. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how I would deem it, but it's no longer just been a comparative word. It's been used as a vocal filler, and I don't like that. And I just use the word like correctly. However, an incorrect use of the word like is any instance where the word like can be removed from the sentence and the sentence would still make sense. Example, I was going to go study and he just wouldn't stop calling me on the phone, and it's stupid. If you take out the word like from that sentence, I was going to go study and it was stupid because he wouldn't stop calling me on the phone. That's a correct way to phrase a sentence. It has a subject, a verb. Okay, that's fine. That's how you make a sentence. However, the word like is completely and utterly unnecessary. When you when you throw in the word like and you don't need to throw in the word like, that's where I get annoyed. And there are times when I will sit in my communications class and count a total of sometimes 10 to 15 usages of the word like within 4 or 5 sentences. No, I don't know how many of you feel about it like I do, but that just burns me up inside that you can't find anything better to say or phrase it in a more educated sense than to use the word like. And I have a feeling that many of you are going to post the word like in various incorrect usages to annoy me in the comments section. I am expecting that, so rain thine hell upon me. However, I know that I'm probably just being picky, but I feel like the English language in today's society really is mistreated. And I just don't understand why people can't just make an honest effort to speak correctly. I don't get it. There's no shame in speaking English properly. I'm not exactly sure who it is, but there's a British guy. I feel stupid for even saying it like that. There's a British guy who has spoken on how we've destroyed the English language. I don't know exactly who it is, but if anybody wants to link that video, go for it. What he's saying about English is incredibly appropriate. I don't understand how we've gone from being so lazy with our language. Just the fact that the word like, and I don't have any supposed caring for the word like. It's not like my favorite word. It's not my favorite word. See, that's an example. I almost did it subconsciously. The word like is not one of my favorite words. I don't take solace in the word like. I don't care much for it beyond it being a word that I use. However, I don't think that used in mass amounts, it really means anything. I take less offense from or than I do from the word like. It's almost sickening hearing people say that. When I was in a speech class last semester, no, 2 semesters ago, there were times when we would be required to give impromptu speeches, which were really fun, by the way. I love giving impromptu speeches, just going up there, speaking extemporaneously, or impromptu, that's basically what extemporaneously is a fancy word for that. And it was really enjoyable. However, I found that a lot of people, specifically the females, and I'm not being misogynist here, I'm not saying that saying the word like is bad in high volume, although it is. And it's so annoying when people have to say the word like all the time. I don't get it. And it's only amongst the girls in my class. There was a couple of guys who do it. My roommate is guilty of this too, and I hate him for that. But I don't know. I think that we need to reevaluate the way in which we teach English to students nowadays because of just the complete raping it's taken. Like, and I just can't understand why people don't stop using the word like. No, I got them both. So it's 3,000 gold and a halberd, which is an axe that does stuff. Master Roy, we have found Lord Hector in the dungeon level. Really? Is he alright? He's severely wounded. Roy. Lord Hector, what an awful wound. We must treat it. Here, lean on my shoulder. It's alright. I won't last much longer. Lord Hector. I was taken by surprise. I never would have guessed that Bern had resurrected the dragons. Dragons? Yes, the dragons that we humans fought in the past. The Dragon-Human Wars, I've heard of it. A long time ago, blah, blah. Yeah, see, that line always skips and I can never get to read it. The dragons fought over total control of the continent. Right, the 8 heroes defeated the dragons and led us humans to victory. How did Bern use the dragons? I have no idea, but the dragons had control of what is now Bern in the past. And Hartmut, one of the 8 heroes, is the founder of Bern. Perhaps the reason lies there. Lord Hector! Roy, go to Ostia. You must lead what is left of the Lycia Alliance army. Instead of me. Me? But... Don't worry. In Ostia are weapons that are effective against dragons. Weapons? I have already told this to Lelina. Please take care of her too. She may seem strong, but she's still a child. They're the same age. Please give her support, or at least they're relatively the same age. She's like 16 or 17. She's still a child. They're not 5 years apart. Because if they would have shown her and she was like 6 or 7, or if Roy was 6 or 7 in the Fire Emblem epilogue, then that would have made her like 1 or 2. Yes, I will. Lena, just one more time. Lord Hector! So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to my huge rant. And for putting up with me for not putting out a video next week. I appreciate it all. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time.